began as a project of civic pride and artistic innovation had become a source of ongoing controversy and debate. The roaring and prosperous 20s were done. The celebration was over. Although the organ was an artistic success, its cost, both financial and political, far exceeded expectation. As a drafting table vision of a magnificent musical instrument, the convention hall organ had many supporters. As a city asset, adorning a facility whose useful purposes were lessened in a depressed economy, the organ had few friends. Public focus turned from entertainment to financial survival, and the Atlantic City Convention Hall organ increasingly became little more than an icon of better years gone by. Atlantic City, once the world's favorite playground, became another casualty of difficult times. And the world's largest and potentially most famous organ was largely forgotten.
As a child, I remember we had this major hurricane, and the organ was damaged in that major hurricane.
It blew part of the roof away, and some of the surf came into the cellar of Convention Hall and flooded the blowers. They had to be sent out and rewired because of the seawater in there.
As serious as the damage caused by Mother Nature proved to be, the organ would see further destruction in future decades, most recently during a restoration of the Convention Hall itself.
When the restoration took place, the right chamber, which was reasonably functional, about 150 ranks were playing, it's no longer usable.
The equipment that they had for their heating and ventilating and air conditioning was near sections of the instrument. Over a period of years, a great deal of water from the air conditioning system poured through the chambers and did a lot more damage than just wearing out parts. And I'm sure they probably valiantly for years tried to get people to fix that, stop the leakage, et cetera, but it was a low priority because the public didn't see it and enough of the instrument played that most people didn't know the difference.
When I started to play, there was more of it working, but a great deal of damage occurred after I stopped playing here.
There was great love of the instrument by the staff here, but when you read the history of the instrument from the past, there wasn't much interest in it from management. No one ever tried to really promote it well and make it the part of the fabric of the building that I think the Sports Authority would like to do now. And out of sight is out of mind, and the pain wasn't as difficult as having to go up and look at it when all this water damage was occurring.
When I found out that this love of my early life was no longer able to be played, I felt that this world had a loss. Atlantic City is very lucky to have this instrument. Many auditoriums, such as Convention Hall, have gone the way of all flesh. They've even torn them down. And the organs with them. And so those are magnificent instruments that are lost forever.
Today, the Convention Hall organ lies silent, unplayable, but it can be repaired. A disturbingly high number of historically important American pipe organs have already been lost. Fires, vandalism, neglect, and mismanagement have claimed many of the finest examples ever built. In each case, the story is much the same. A pipe organ, designed to last for centuries, is deprived of routine maintenance. Over time, sections of the instrument become unplayable. Eventually, the organ goes silent, sometimes for decades. Decisions regarding the instrument's future are made by people who've never even heard it. Historic works of art are destroyed or replaced by mass-manufactured electronic imitations. Fortunately, the Atlantic City Convention Hall organ has found new friends, and in the most unlikely of places.
There was a group on the internet asking questions about it. At that time, I worked half a block from here, and the organist here, an assistant curator, Tim Hogue, was a friend. And I would give him a ride home, and his questions would come up about the instrument. I could get them answered and get them on the internet. As this evolved, it evolved into what is today the Atlantic City Convention Hall Organ Society.
The Atlantic City Convention Hall Organ Society was officially founded in 1997. The group's immediate goal was the protection of the Atlantic City Convention Hall organ from further damage, and its ultimate goal, the complete restoration of the instrument.
It is our not-for-profit group that is an adjunct of the group that is put together by the Sports Authority, that are the people from the public who are cheerleading and pushing the project forward from the standpoint of all the interest that the public has in it. And helping them with their fundraising is going to help us.
I've done a lot to restore things in Atlantic City, but it's my duty to make the country, the world, and the city know what a treasure this is, and it's got to be brought back.
The Society is hoping that this instrument will be restored to its complete playable condition as it was when it was finally completed in the 1930s.
We have to do a complete restoration. We have to start ground up because so much of the instrument was allowed to deteriorate. We have sections of the instrument we have to almost rebuild, except for the pipework, because the water continuously damaged it over a long period of time. Why someone didn't just go in and throw plastic over stuff, we'll never know, but they did.
On an international level, the Organ Historical Society does its part, calling attention to the plight of the Convention Hall organ and certifying the organ's historical significance.
This organ, built by the Mider-Losh Organ Company of Merrick, Long Island, New York, in the year 1929 to 1932, has been selected for recognition as an instrument of exceptional historic merit worthy of preservation. This plaque is to be held in trust for the Organ Historical Society by the owners of this organ as long as the instrument is maintained in a manner consistent with its extreme historical significance.
The Organ Historical Society started a citation program 30 years ago to raise awareness of instruments that are of spectacular cultural and historical importance. And they don't have to be large, they can be tiny little chamber organs. But the OHS, through this program, wanted to raise the awareness of the owners and of the musical society in general and the community surrounding that particular instrument. Because if something has come to us and it's 100, 200, 300 years old, which means that generations before us have respected it and treated it with care, we need to have the same respect for it to pass it on to generations that are going to come after us. And the citation program is to let the community surrounding an instrument know how important it is and that the community needs to embrace this instrument as a work of art and to protect it.